Hello everybody and welcome to my first video on this channel. Well, it's my first actual video without it being a shorts, but today we're going to be doing a pretty nice video as a first video. This is going to be a Gemini Jets 1:400 scale model review of the 2020 release British Airways Concorde. Now, if you guys don't know, I used to have a channel called Alex Aviation 420. And I had a Air France Concorde, which actually did come broken. And I think it's probably in the bin. I actually don't know where it is, but I decided to buy a British Airways Concorde and review it. Now, I am starting to get back into aviation again. I decided to do YouTube again because I just thought, why not? And I've decided to start model collecting as well. Now, the models I am going to be collecting are mainly British Airways and Royal Air Force aircraft, because obviously I'm from the UK, where British Airways is basically my home airline. But I do want to collect a lot of RAF aircraft because I am going to be in the RAF this year, hopefully. So let's just get into it. So this is the 1:400 scale British Airways Concorde. It does look really nice. I actually did get this delivered just today, and it is a pretty nice model. I have had a look at it closely before this review, so that there was nothing bad about it, and literally there's not even a scratch on it. There's nothing bad on it at all. So today we're going to begin this model review with the actual box itself. Now, this actually came in immaculate condition. I was pretty happy with it. It was wrapped really well. So let's just start it. And sorry if you can't really see much, the lighting's not very good. And if I put the flash on my phone, it just looks weird. So starting off, here we have, looks like it says Gemini Jets with like a little R logo at the top right. Made for collectors by collectors. Then here's the actual clip art of this aircraft, and it has a big Concorde logo there. It says look inside. British Airways and a 1:400 scale diecast model. If we do look inside, that's where the model would actually be sitting, and there's me. Here's the information about this aircraft, so if you want to read that, then you can pause to read that. But I will read some facts about this, I guess, whatever that is. So, delivery obviously is British Airways. The aircraft type is obviously the BAC Aeropass. I can't even read that. Partial Concorde, and this is construction number 204 apparently. The registration is Golf-Bravo Oscar Alpha Charlie. It has four BB Olympus, I can't even read this, I'm sorry, 593 MIS 610s, whatever that says. I think I might be wrong there. This exact Concorde first flew in 1975, and it was delivered to British Airways in 1980. It has, well, its mass, or weight, when it's empty, is 173,500 pounds, which is this in kilos. Cruising speed was 1,340 miles per hour, so I think that was just over twice the speed of sound. The range is 4,488 miles, and it can seat 120 people. Here it says Gemini Jets, and then it says here 1:400 scale diecast model, highly collectible, superior quality, realistic metal landing gear, detailed printed graphics, and as real as it gets features. Well, back in 2019 for Gemini Jets, this was not valid. And then here's another side of the box. It says Gemini Jets. I'm sorry, this is blurry. It says 1:400 scale diecast model, and the item number for this model is GJBAW1539. If we look at the back, it says Gemini Jets adult collectible model, and then it gives you a little warning with a little barcode. And this is what I meant when I said it was weird. It's got like, if I move this, it is kind of weird. I've never seen Gemini Jets do this, but it gives you like a map of Manchester. Now, if you guys are OGs from my old YouTube channel, you remember my first video was Emirates Airbus A380 at Manchester. Now, I recognize this whole area. So I remember there used to be a Nimrod here. This is where I was, number 7, or it was here. This is where the viewing area was. And then on number 3, if you guys can see that, there's where the Concorde is displayed. And I have been in there. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos I can show you, but that's just, you know. This model was released in 2020, and this is just it says here that this is under license from British Airways, made in China, and then there's their website if you really want to go check that out. And that's pretty much it for the box. So now we're going to get into the actual model review. I am slightly struggling to get this to focus properly, but this is literally the best I can do. I had to use my flashlight because you literally can't see anything. So we're going to start off with the nose of the Concorde. Now this was a very unique nose. Now, as you can see it like this now, it was in this position during flight to like reduce drag and improve aerodynamic efficiency. But during takeoff and landing, basically it will droop down. Now this was called the droop snoot. And basically what it'll do is it'll droop down to increase the pilot's visibility. Because of like the high angle of attack of about 18 degrees during takeoff and landings, the pilot's visibility was obscured by the long nose. So they invented something called the droop snoot, which would basically droop down, and the visor would come up along with that, so that they could actually see whilst they're taking off and landing. Now, because of this, they had to also add something to the tail, which I'll get to in a minute. But here we have some like details that you can't really see very well. I can't even see them very well. Then here we have the British Airways logo or icon, whatever you want to call it. And here we have the L1 door or the boarding door. I think here is the emergency slide. We have, I think that is the One World logo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it does look like the One World logo. Here we have the very tiny British Airways titles. Here we have the nose gear, which is very long. And on the nose gear doors, we have the 2 last letters of the registration, which is Alpha Charlie. Then here we have the long metal piece where the wheel and the tire is. Here we have some plastic pieces representing the hydraulics and the brakes as well, and also the suspension, that's the same as shock absorbers here in the UK. My favorite part about the Concorde is probably the delta wing. Gemini Jets have really done a good job at this. Now, if the camera will pick it up, you can actually see this dotted line around the wings, and it says "do not walk beyond this point," which is actually pretty smart, or pretty, not smart, but pretty well implemented into this model. We have another door. I think that's like an emergency exit door. And then here we have the main 2 gears, which do look pretty good. I don't know if you can see it, but on the engine at the front, there's the ramp intakes. I don't know if it has a detail, but oh yeah, kind of there. It says danger there. There's the Gemini Jets logo underneath, and then the doors, flap doors. And then I think it also says "do not walk on this area," something like that. Here we have the flaps of the Concorde. Now these were pretty weird. They didn't really work very well. And here's one of the engines. There is a bunch of writing on it. I can't even read that. I think it says warning or whatever on it. Here we have the iconic Concorde tail with the British Airways classic tail on there. Here we have the registration, which is obviously Golf Dash Bravo Oscar Alpha Charlie. And here's what I was talking about before with the droop snoot. Now, obviously, because of the high angle of attack of 18 degrees of landing and takeoff, they had to implement a couple wheels on the back of it so that it wouldn't tail strike. There's some more details on this side. I think there's a warning or a British Airways logo that I can't really see it very well. There isn't really much more on this model, but here's the other side of the aircraft, well, obviously. This is where the crew would board. And then there's some more details on the wings, well, like the leading edge of the wings. And I think here there is some, I don't even know what that is, but yeah. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. Now, thank you so much for watching. This is my first video on this channel. Well, apart from shorts, this is my first actual video on YouTube. I am going to be posting a bunch more model reviews. I do have some of my old models that I kept because they meant quite a lot to me. So I will post some model reviews about them as well. But check out my other videos. Actually, what else is there to check out? There's nothing else to check out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.